Hey, it's Mike with Fleetwood RV. Today, instead of doing a walk-around video on a new floor plan, we're going to take a look at a very neat option that we can put on our units now, thanks to Liquid Springs. We got Wayne Wells with us. He's the expert on this system. So Wayne, can you tell us a little bit about...
So what we have here, this is half of a rear suspension. And what we have is a 4-link compressible liquid suspension. What that allows us to do is give you a nice compliant ride. The fluid we're using is a silicone fluid. It's got about a 6% compression rate, but we're using a fluid, so that allows us to very rapidly change the spring rates up and down. And we can do that in about 40 milliseconds, so it's pretty much immediate. So that gives you really good body control, so you get the best of all worlds. You're going to get a really nice, smooth, compliant ride, but you're going to get sports car style handling. I know that's a little overstated in a motorhome, but it's going to be the best ride and drive you're going to get in a gas chassis.
So when you say it's got liquid spilled, is this anything I got to maintain, top off, or...
Nope.
Or is it all self-contained?
So here's, once the suspension's on, you should never have to touch anything.
Oh, nice.
I mean, if you see fluid on the floor, it's like power steering in your car. If it's dripping, figure out where it's coming from. But for the most part, you don't ever have to change the fluid. You shouldn't, it doesn't evaporate. You should never have to add to it. I mean, it's like any other componentry on a motorhome. You know, a visual inspection once a year, you're probably good. Our driver interface will actually tell you if something is going on. It's got a warning light on here. If that comes on, it'll tell you what to look at, but it's very intuitive. The beauty of our suspension is it kind of does its own thing for you.
Well, that's nice. Low maintenance. So you point out this control. What all features does this have?
So what we have, the control panel here, we've got ride, and we've got 3 separate ride settings: a comfort, a normal, and a sport. The difference between those settings is the speed at which the suspension reacts. So if you're in sport, it's going to be very reactive, so it's going to give you better body roll control and whatnot, but you'll feel the road just a little bit more. As you go down, normal is going to be kind of just the average, and comfort's the body will move more, but you'll be the most compliant ride. We also have some height controls, and as you go through these, you can lift and lower the coach 3.5 inches. So say you have a bad departure angle, you can actually raise the coach up 3.5 inches.
So total I got 7 inches.
Yeah, 7 inches.
Oh, nice.
Total, yeah. Okay. But you can raise it so you're not dragging the tail end, or conversely, you have a low barn, something you're parking your coach in, you can drop it down 3.5 inches and park it.
Or if you're loading up your motorhome for going out, taking out a vacation or something, you lower your coach down 3.5 inches, putting that step down on the ground, makes it that much easier to get in and out.
Yeah, and I actually recommend that you drop this down to low height when you park anyway, before you put your jacks down, because your jacks don't have to lift as high, and like you said, your steps closer to the ground.
We cannot travel, correct, with it up or down?
That's no. When you get to 15 miles an hour, it's automatically going to go to the normal setting, no matter what you have it set at. So it's not going to let you drive.
Nothing we can mess up. It's all done inside.
Correct.
That's good. You got time? We run out and take a look at one that's already installed on a unit?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Let's do that. So we have Liquid Springs on all 4 corners of this unit, and that's the only way we offer it through the manufacturer. Is that pretty standard throughout the industry?
No. At this point, Fleetwood Rev is the only manufacturer that is putting it on all 4 corners. We have some other manufacturers that are doing rear only, but you guys are the only ones doing all 4 corners.
Yes, we got it on the front. The driver is up front, so we really want to stabilize that area as well. So with Fleetwood, Holiday Rambler, it's going to be on all 4 passes. With that up, we can be able to see kind of how this is put together.
That's the top of the strut there. This is the upper and lower control arms you're looking at right there. And you can't really see it, but you got a volume that's holding the fluid here, and that's what it's actually compressing. So if you look in here,
and by volume, you're meaning just like a tank that's
it's somewhat like an expansion tank, but really we're using all that fluid. It's compressing it all the time. And the way the suspension is working is by the amount of fluid that the system has available to it by rate valve. That determines the ride quality of the ride frequency, spring rate, and that's how we're controlling what's going on in this coach.
All right. So if I'm understanding everything correctly, correct me if I'm wrong, Wayne, but basically, to wrap it up, this unit is, every wheel that moves, it's going to calculate how much travel it is, and it's going to pump fluid from the volume, the tank, into that shock and make it stiffer or smoother depending on?
Sort of. It actually is a little bit, what it's actually doing is taking away the amount of that volume it can compress.
Okay.
So it's not changing how much fluid's in it, it's changing how much of that fluid. It's got a rate valve,
Gotcha.
and it either modulates or just shuts it all the way down. Where you're full hard, it's basically using none of that fluid, just what's in the strut.
Okay.
And it does, you don't feel the coach do it, but it's doing it all the time while you're driving. You just won't feel a lot of this motion.
Got you. Perfect. I think I've seen on your guys' website or something, you guys deal with some military stuff too, or done
We
some
do.
trials with that?
We do. We've done some light duty military stuff. We are really big in the ambulance market and the transit market. Truly our big customer base right now is ambulance. We do 98% of the vehicles getting their suspension changed in the US and Canada are ours. And that kind of should tell you something. The reason they're changing those suspensions on the ambulances is because they have a patient back there. And think if you're in the back of an ambulance and you have a broken femur, you want as nice a ride as you can get and a technician to be able to work on you while you're moving. And it really is, for the RV market, this is really cutting edge technology.
No, we took a ride in it yesterday, and this is extremely smooth ride. I was very impressed. Very impressed. Well, Wayne, thank you for your time, and thank you for showing us this product.
Perfect. Thank you.